Hello and welcome to Theme Park Information. In today's show we have got a review for Six Flags over Georgia, located very close to Atlanta in the US. First time I ever visited this park and I had a pretty interesting, strange experience of it. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Getting into the park, pretty efficient, pretty straightforward. Actually took an Uber from our hotel because it was pretty close to the park entrance. And then using our diamond passes was again pretty straightforward and easy to get in. No real issues there. All thumbs up on that front. Managed to get in, got first ride of Daredevil Dive. That has quite a low capacity because of the train design and stuff like that. So if you are going to start with anything, I'd probably recommend that. And then managed to get over onto Goliath. Goliath, by the way, will have its own separate review. But needless to say, it was a very good ride. And managed to get a couple of rides in on it as well early in the day. And then following that, again, managed to head over into the DC section of the park, where they're building their new, for this year apparently, coaster. And also it's where you'll find Batman the Ride and Mindbender, both of which were really good fun. Managed to get on those in pretty good time. So that's within the first hour. You're 4 coasters down, got 5 rides, going well. All good. Then we did take a bit of a detour as we went back to the front entrance in order to get our fast pass system all set up, and also to get our season drinks cups as well. Both of them slight benefits with the pass we had. I will say, just for future reference for anyone, you collect the flash passes if you have one of the diamond members cards in the flash pass office. It doesn't have its own separate building, which is a potential little issue. And you also will just get the drink carton. They are just in nearby shops and stores where you just have to ask for them. Which again, it took a bit of time. You're talking maybe half an hour, 45 minutes to sort out both things, which was a bit of a pain. But needless to say, eventually we did get it sorted. And I will be honest, the people in the actual Fast Pass Centre were pretty helpful. So no huge warning flags or anything for that. Then we managed to get over, and the first RMC of the day, which was Twisted Cyclone, and that was actually short but a lot of fun. Again, I might do its own separate review because it's a major ride at the park. We then decided to get some food. Food was actually pretty good. They had the kind of garlic knots and cheese pizza, decent sizes, pretty tasty. Can't really complain on it. Obviously, theme park food is generally pretty good to all right. So it fell definitely towards the good side of it, thankfully. And then went on the train as well. Always good to see a park with a train ride, and that was pretty cool. And then from that moment, our day seemed to just go from being an 8.5, 9 out of 10 sort of day to a 4. We went on the mine train at the park, and that was chaotic to say the least. We then headed towards the back of the park. And the back of the park was literally stepping into a different theme park. Everything suddenly seemed to be a little bit more outdated. There was lots of one-train operations, whereas at the front they were running 2 trains on everything. And it just seemed to be, the front seemed to be a lot more fresh and modern, and a lot more time had been taken in getting it ready and stuff like that. So it was a little bit disappointing. Still managed to go on Superman the Ride. These are always good fun, flying coaster. Managed to get get on that. And then we managed to get on the Great American Scream Machine. Eventually, it did break down. We left, went on Blue Hawk, and then came back to ride it. And it was one of the worst rides of the trip. Not impressed with that. I appreciate it has just apparently been retracked, so it's better. I just spent most of the ride just bouncing. Thank God I was aware that the brakes on it do hit hard, so I could at least prepare myself for them. And thank God I was slightly ready. But honestly, we managed to do the first part of the park in about an hour to 2 hours, and then spent literally the rest of the day just doing the last little bit of it. It was so infuriating in some ways. And obviously, summer, Georgia, it was pretty hot and humid as well. So it was just a little bit irritating. It just kind of, you're just oh, come on. I will say on a side note, the Monster Mansion, that was really good. I know it has a lot of charm and a lot of it's quite cutesy and funny, but also quite enjoyable. Boat design is questionable, I will say that. I did think at one point we were going to slightly tip, but thankfully we stayed afloat. I will say, not quite as amazing as I thought it was going to be, but still really good. And it was just a bit of an interesting one. There were a couple of other really negative things about the park as well, like the refill stations. They were often like missing like bits for the ice, or like certain drinks weren't available, which I appreciate. It could happen once, but it seemed to happen to like all of them, no matter where you were in the park. And to me, that's just really, really frustrating. It's just something which shouldn't really happen. And I also did think the fact there was just one train operations on so much stuff as well was just really infuriating as well. But overall, I would say I did kind of enjoy the day. It did pick up right at the end. We managed to get a couple of rides on Goliath, and managed to go on the RMC again as well, which was great. So at least ended on a positive, and I suppose also managed to get their stand-up, which was surprisingly good. Georgia Shortshire, yeah, not anything truly amazing, but like better than expected. So yeah, it was a really interesting day. Really, like there was some good stuff, some bad stuff, but probably I would say it's probably is one of the worst Six Flags parks I've experienced, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, but still decent, still worth a visit. But just try and get a lot of stuff done early. Or if you have your drink cup and everything sorted out before you go, that would probably also massively help. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I'll catch you guys on the next one.